Hello, dear students. Today we are going to continue our topic about human nutrition. Our chapter about human nutrition. The topic is about obesity and overweight. As you know, many people all over the world, some of the people have this kind of problems like obesity and overweight. And by the picture, you can see the one of the common reasons for that people. Of course, if they are not so active, they're gonna gain kg. Of course, it can be because of some kind of diseases. If our body will not work properly, it also may lead to the obesity or overweight. It can be hereditary predisposition that comes from the parents, maybe grandmother and grandfather and so on. And of course, mostly and usually happening obesity and overweight because of the unhealthy food. Okay, let's start our lesson. Obesity, yeah, these are different degrees of the same disorder. It means they both have extra kg for that person, but they have some kind of difference that we are going to talk about them in this our lesson. First, if you take in more food than your body needs for energy or growth and the replacement, the excess is converted to fat and stored in fat deposits under the skin or in the abdomen, as you see from this man. That's the like main point of this disorders. And some obese people are more likely to suffer from high blood pressure. One of the reasons why they have high blood pressure is what they are as they are getting too much fatty food. There will be some kind of thromb in their blood vessels that makes high blood pressure. And coronary heart disease and diabetes, of course, they are all because of the unhealthy food. Having extra weight to carry also makes you reluctant to take exercise. By measuring a person's height and body mass, it's possible to use a chart to predict whether or not they have an ideal body mass. I will show that picture a little bit later. It means according to our body height and the body weight, by that chart we can see does our body is properly by weight, body mass. Okay, that chart that makes person how are they obese or not. For example, let's say if you have height 1.75 meters and you have a kg approximately 80 or 90, it's about slightly obese or moderately obese. It means you have to get approximately 60 kg to get ideal mass. Of course, if you are not 60, that's gonna be also terrible because it's gonna be low mass and so on. By this chart you can calculate your body mass. Is it ideal body mass or slightly obese or moderately obese and so on. Even me, I can see myself. I have slightly obese because my height is 175 approximately and my weight is 75 77 between that ones, and I'm in the blue zone, slightly obese. Okay, here in the text you can see why some people should be prone to obesity is unclear. There may be a genetic predispositions, as we talked before, in which the brain center that responds to food intake may not signal when sufficient food has been taken in. In some cases, it may be the outcome of an infectious disease. Whatever the cause, the remedy of the reduce food intake to a level that matches but does not exceed the body's needs. Taking exercise helps, but it takes a great deal of the exercise to burn off even a small amount of surplus fat. In this text, guys, it says that we have to just keep uh, keep taking food in normal proportions, but sometimes it may be because of some genetic hereditary diseases to have some kind of like fails in our brain, that the brain is not taking care of the food intake. So because of that, some people, as they are not even eating not too much, they can be have some kind of obese. And for that people, making some kind of exercise will cost too much energy, will cost too much time to burn off small particles of the fat. So we are continuing with the classes of the foods. As we talked about them, you may know them from the biological molecules. Yeah, you know that there are carbohydrates, proteins, and fats. Even though we have to talk about them at least a little bit. So, and here you can see the table, but how the nutrients are found and where in our body they are used. So these substances, let's say, like carbohydrates, proteins, fats, also they also must be included as the series. There must be salts, vitamins, water, and the vegetable fiber. These substances, guys, make our balanced diet, so we will have a healthy lifestyle. Of course, they do not normally have be taken in separately. They can be just mixed, but of course their amounts must be in the correct way. Um, and you can see, for example, the carbohydrates are found in potato, cassava, bread, sugary foods, and so on. And they are, guys, source of energy, and sometimes they are used as storage. For example, the proteins that are found in meat, fish, eggs, milk, and so on, they are used to growth, tissue repair, enzymes that you know, hormones, hair, nails, as we talked before. And about carbohydrates, a little bit deeper. We know that it's sugar and there is starch, which are polysaccharide, the complex part of the carbohydrates. And look, starch mostly we found in potatoes, bread, and maize, rice, and other cereals. So it can be obtained from that products. Yeah, sugar appears in our diet mainly as sours, which is added to drinks and many prepared foods such as jam, biscuits, and cakes. It means we are getting sugar in these two ways that are sweetie ones like drinks and jam, biscuits, and cakes, and from the food sources like potatoes, bread, and so on. You can see that we know that glucose, fructose, they are monosaccharides of the carbohydrates. They are naturally appears from many vegetables and fruits, as their names even fructose. Also, though those foods provide our body with the cheapest energy because they are digested so fast, and by them we get, of course, our part of energy, and they contain the elements like carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, or the common example glucose, which you know. And when the carbohydrates are oxidized means digested to provide energy by respiration, they are broken down to carbon dioxide and water. It means carbon dioxide is our byproduct and water are used in our body. Also, you have to know 1 gram of carbohydrate can provide to our body 16 kilojoules of energy. So, if we eat more carbohydrates than our body need, it's gonna be the excess, and it's gonna be converted in the liver to either glycogen or fat. The glycogen is stored in the liver and the muscles. That's one of the type of the carbohydrates, the polysaccharides. And the fat, it's stored in abdomen, under skin. Sometimes it can be even stored in our kidneys and so on. And the cellulose in the cell walls of all plant tissues is a carbohydrate. Also, cellulose, that it's one of the type of carbohydrates which are polysaccharide, the complex carbohydrate. We probably derive the relatively little nourishment from cellulose, but it's important in the diet as fiber. Fiber, guys, fiber helps to our digestion to pass the food from our intestine. Fibers makes like a chain of the food particles to be easy passage. And here you can see the figure 7.6, digestion and the use of carbohydrates. For example, you can see the starch and sugar, they are absorbed and digested into sugars and divided into two, or some of them can be changed to glycogen and fat, and some of them they're going to be oxidized and the respiration, and which are not digested one like cellulose, they're going to be useful as raw whey. So we have finished today with the class of foods and obesity, the overweight, and in our next lesson we are going to continue with the fat, proteins, vitamins, and so on. For today I will not give any activities, but for the next lesson be ready to have some kind of review questions. See you guys. Good luck.